I give the floor to you.
Okay, you want to start?
Yeah, can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Perfect. Floor to you, Prashant.
Do we want to wait for a few minutes or we just want to start? I think at 35 we start. I think.
As you prefer.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Prashant Ajmera. Can we go to the next slide with my bio, please?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Prashant Ajmera. I'm a lawyer by profession and a founder of the Ajmera Law Group or Ajmera Law International. And we have our portal Startup Going Global. I have more than 30 years of an experience in migrations and global business expansions, and I've assisted SMEs, startups, and HNIs to move from their home country to establish globally into USA, Canada, European countries, and many more countries. So what today we are bringing to you is India to Europe Deal series, which is a part of our brief series, India to the world. Because as now Indian economy has opened up, a lot of businessmen, investors, SMEs, startup founders, multinationals are interested in expanding their business out of India. And particularly now their interest is into the European market. And why? Because as we all know that in January 2026, in Hyderabad House in New Delhi, the agreement was signed, FTA, between European Union and Indian government. And it is regarded as the mother of all deals because this is the largest deal ever happened or signed between the two countries or rather group of countries and in India. This bilateral trade is also stood that already they have a business of $136 billion in 24-25, with service adding another $83 billion. So already they had such a large business bilateral, and now it is going to add more to it. And that's why this deal is regarded as the mother of all deals. If we look at some numbers, India has secured market access for more than 99% of Indian exports by trade value to the European Union, with nearly 33 billion in labor-intensive sectors, where tariff of up to 10% will be eliminated from the day one. Not only that, India secures commercially meaningful access to Europe into 144 EU service subsectors, which includes IT professionals, professional services, financial services, education, while a future-ready mobility framework opens periodical pathways for a skilled Indian professional. So with this background, I think it is timing is geopolitical also. Rising protectionism, US tariff pressures on the one side, and the supply chain reconfirmation made both India and the European Union urgently seek the reliable strategic partners and alternatives. So with the combined FTA already concluded with the UK, and now we have a European, this effectively opens up the entire European market for an Indian exporters, entrepreneurs, startup founders, and the multinational company who also interest. And that's the reason we have put this series of 4 episodes on every Tuesday, webinar series with our partners and associates, Dealflow.eu and the 𝗘𝗂𝗶𝗹 based out of Portugal. So I would like to welcome our first speaker and a founder, 𝗘𝗂𝗶𝗶𝗹. Please, let me give you an introduction about the 𝗘𝗂𝗶𝗹. He is the founder, as I mentioned, of the Dealflow.eu and 𝗘𝗂𝗶𝗹. He has more than 15 years of an experience in venture capital expertise. So he's a solid experience. Plus, he has a physical science degree from the Imperial College in London. He has VC funds, corporate ventures arms, and family offices. So he has worked into a variety of sectors in financial industry. And he's also a board member of the interim CFO CEO at the high growth startups. So that's he works or provides the services as a CFOs or CEOs in a high growth startups. He specialized in deep tech and B2B and advised to the European Commission since 2016. And as the founder of the Dealflow.eu, he has done a fantastic work in last 6 years, 7 years time. This floor is yours. Please enlighten us what you have been doing it since last 6 years with the Dealflow and another ventures.eu.
Thank you very much, Prashant. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to explore more ways of how we can get Indian startups, investors, corporates working with all the opportunities that are in Europe. Before I dive in on what we've done with Dealflow and Ventures, I will also highlight a little bit in my background that I was indeed an investor since 2010. So now for the last 16 years, I've been investing in startups myself. I've invested in several very successful companies, 75x returns on investments on some of them. And what I'd really like to share with everyone is the amazing opportunity that there is in Europe. It's now been exactly 10 years ago since I started advising the European Commission and finding out what they were doing and what this means as an opportunity for startups, for investors, and for corporates. Basically, the European Commission has the largest innovation funding agencies and framework programs. They're spending hundreds of billions of euros on innovation and innovative startups and deep tech grant projects and even some equity investments. And since 2016, I got to see what were the results coming out of all this funding. And this is a little bit like a gold mine for an investor. And it's been really with a lot of pleasure that I've been helping them scale the companies that benefit from their grant funding. So this is how Dealflow was created. In 2019, after having been an advisor to them for more than 3 years, we saw that Europe and the European Commission are doing an amazing job at giving money away to very innovative startups. They're doing a very good selection process and amazing innovations are coming out of it. To give you an example, the COVID vaccine was made possible with European Commission money because they funded BioNTech and their research. So these huge value creations happen after government funding. And also from an American perspective, the internet, the satellites, semiconductors, all of these very deep tech innovations, they are rooted and they started with actually government funding at the foundations. And I saw thousands of these projects, thousands of these innovation funding activities happening at EU, but what I didn't see was the connection to the private market. And this is why I started Dealflow in 2019. I became the supporter of the 𝗘𝗍𝒄 fund, which is a 10 billion compartment of the EU really focused on startups to make sure that there is a bridge between all these innovations and private investors. So that these startups, when they get public money and they develop their innovations, so that they can also bring it to the market, get financing and investments from investors, and also get clients from corporates. And this has been an amazing journey for the last 6 years. With a lot of pleasure, we've been organizing dozens and dozens of investor events, as well as corporate events. We are also the community manager for the 𝗘𝗍𝒄. They have now over 8,000 startups that have benefited from their funding, and we're in touch with all of them. And one thing that I'm very proud of is a matchmaking platform that my colleague Vittorio will tell you a little bit more about in a bit, where we are really highlighting these startups, making it possible for investors and corporates to get in touch with them. And we are very actively organizing corporate days and corporate innovation activities. And this is also why we started the fund. So the fund, Dealflow was started around end of 2019. The fund was started in 25, so last year. We are actively investing in the startups that we meet through all these innovation activities. The best founders we meet, the best startups we meet, those are the ones we want to invest in ourselves. What is also very interesting, especially for your audience with high net worth individuals from India, if they're looking for a golden visa, if they're looking for a great tech setup in Portugal, our fund is compliant with the golden visa regulation. So by investing in our fund, not only do they invest in a really good fund that has some of the best deep tech innovations coming out of Europe, where we have the first pick of, they can also benefit from the golden visa compliancy and 𝗘𝗍𝗍 tax schemes. So that's it from a high level in terms of what we have. We've built a fantastic platform with access to lots of startups. We have a fund on the side, and we really aim to bridge the funding gap in Europe and to have a positive impact in Europe with our activities. A little bit more about the team. We have over 20 specialized investment professionals, mostly coming from VC backgrounds, but also with deep tech backgrounds and academic profiles. And then I think over to the next slide to highlight a little bit, again, the network we've built up over the last 6 years. We are really in touch with, sorry, go ahead, Prashant, or?
No, go.
No? Okay, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, we're really in touch with a lot of the largest corporates in Europe. We've done over 16 corporate events per year. So in the last 2 years, we've done over 30 corporate events with the largest corporates in Europe, where we really get to find out what their challenges are, and we very carefully select the best startups to match them with. We've done, we're probably in touch with all the investors, all the serious investors in Europe as well, through all the investment activities we've done with the 𝗘𝗍𝗍. And of course, we're in touch with thousands of startups through our role with the 𝗘𝗍𝗍 as the community managers. So yeah, back to you, Prashant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Obviously, in the 6 years, I think you've done a phenomenal job with the help of your team with the Dealflow. But obviously, always startup founders asking one question: how do I get an access to the money? So as you have talked about the billions of dollars here, as an Indian startup, if I'm a startup founder and if I want to get an access to this fund, which you have it, how does it happen? So what could be the possibilities?
Yeah, that's a good question. So all this money is available for European headquartered startups. So if you were an Indian individual and you would want to benefit from these grants and equity schemes, first you should benefit from our fund and become a resident in Portugal. Get your golden visa, get your residency, and make sure that the startup that you create is based in one of the European countries. Then you are able to also benefit from the billions of euros of grant funding that are available. And we actually have also a department in Dealflow.